We Lived Happily During the War by Ilya Kaminsky. And when they bombed other people's houses, we protested, but not enough. We opposed them, but not enough. I was in my bed. Around my bed, America was falling, invisible house by invisible house by invisible house. I took a chair outside and watched the sun. In the 6th month of a disastrous reign in the house of money, in the street of money, in the city of money, in the country of money, our great country of money, we, forgive us, lived happily during the war.
Uduasha City, where the sun is a mirror and the moon a shadow, where dancers cavort in forbidden operas, making love to forgetting and flame, where the wealthy play at war with silver swords and silken sashes, where the people mine the dead heart of a burning star for cannonballs and pipework, and where 1,000 secrets hide in a forest of paper and ink. Here, the 5 keybearers reside, the 5 who know the secrets of the broken gates of death. 5. 5 only. There is no 6th spire, forlorn and forgotten in the desert. There is no one who looks to the displaced, the poor and destitute and landless, whose ancestry has been stripped from them by foreign looms and foreign sparkcraft, and no one has ever heard of the House of Ending. But this is their story. Their roots pulled up and burned, they stand in filth up to their necks, and that is precisely why they must keep their heads ever high. Welcome to Uduasha, immigrant. May it fear the name of the house you will build. Welcome to Desperate Attune, an actual play podcast about characters with their identities in peril, played by an international cast devoted to fiction-first gaming, collaborative world-building, and complex character drama. Welcome back to Desperate Attune, everyone. Today we are a little bit short on, I was going to say manpower, but tree power. We are a little bit short on tree. And we will be wrapping up from last session being the score in which the Rising Moon School confronted the Falling Star School, not by means of direct violence, but by going up there and attempting to have a talk with Ankia the Veiled while she was attending an opera with the Blue Smoke Troupe, an opera performance. And it went fairly well. 2 of the Falling Star Sword School people were talked out of attacking the Rising Moon, those being Shah the Golden Blade and Ranveer the Black Blade. But at the very last moment, the demon known as the Pus of Ixis, Scab of Ixis, Dirt under Ixis's feet, made a play to try and kill Ranveer and was foiled. And the effect of this is that the Ankia the Veiled, the one of the 3 Ustads of the Falling Star Sword School, is now aware that there is demonic meddling and interference going on. And sort of the payoff of this score will be getting to have a meeting with her. So we're actually going to start this session somewhat unorthodoxly with the payoff from the last score. Have I missed anything that either of the people present want to add? Klow, Salty, and Aadiyat.
That was everything.
Just that we absolutely wrecked Chebino's reputation. I think that's important to establish. And now he's taking revenge on Mushfiq.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You wrecked his reputation in front of Shah, at least.
Mm-hmm. And now Mushfiq is being slapped by fish.
Yes. That is also a thing which has happened.
Yes.
So.
We say Mushfiq, we mean Captain Mackerel.
Yes.
Irony.
Oh, yeah, he's still incognito, of course. I will point out that Cherubino, it's actually a good thing that Cherubino's just slapping you around, because you are wanted. But, speaking of wanted and stuff, let us quickly handle the mechanical fallout
Yes.
of the last score. So first of all, the crew earns 2 rep per score. If the target of the score is higher tier, take 1 rep per tier higher. And I think it's fair to say that the target here is the sword school itself, right? Because you're trying, your goal is to split them up. So they are the direct targets of this in a kind of roundabout way. They are tier 3, and you are tier 1, so you take 4 rep.
Yay!
Oh boy.
Are you adding it?
Yes, I have done so.
Yes, thank you.
I was born to add things, Chief.
Yes, good. The crew normally earns coin for a score. The question is if there is any coin on the line here. I have trouble seeing there. Normally, I think it's nice when there's some coin involved with every score. This score, I just cannot see it making any sense.
Maybe a claim? I don't know if we establish any sort of like turf with the Blue Smoke Troop, because we've done a few scores on their performances.
Mm-hmm. I don't think a claim is appropriate here because that involves pissing someone off, and you have basically only made friends. So I think how we'll frame it is this is basically just a blow against the people making war on you.
Okay.
I think that's a logical way to frame it. I don't, this is a score you did in self-defense, and you have successfully defended yourselves, and that's basically it.
Okay.
Like, normally I think either coin or a claim, but in this case, you're making progress in the war instead. That's what's happening. You do take heat, though.
Yay.
And what do we want to say about this? Smooth and quiet, low exposure. I think contained standard exposure here. There was some sword fighting, but it was like kept more or less within the framework of a performance. Right? So I think 2 heat base.
Yeah. 2 heat baseline with -2 from noble privileges.
Yes, with -2 from noble privileges, +1 for a high profile or well-connected target, +1 for hostile turf. Actually, let's say it's not hostile turf because of your allies, so it's 1 heat.
Oh, but we are at war. Do we?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
we
you
still
are at
get
war.
the heat, don't we?
Yeah, you still get the heat from being at war. So there's 1 more.
Right on the edge.
Oh, you're 1 away?
Yeah.
From another wanted level? Okay, interesting.
Shall I roll for entanglement?
Yes, please do.
It's a 1.
It's a 1, and that means heat 6+. It's flipped or interrogation.
Okay.
So either one of the crew's PC gets interrogated, or one of the PC's rivals ranges for one of your contracts, patrons, clients, or group of customers to switch allegiances due to the heat on you. Okay, this has already sort of happened, but I think the obvious and interesting angle here is Tumdurji. Like, probably he just caves to the sumptuary law requirement. So it's not exactly that he's loyal to them, he's just in a boatload of trouble. They try
to kidnap my girlfriend. They poison my ustad, who's not really my ustad, and then they ruin an artist's life just to get at me. It's all about me.
100%.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. We introduced this as an angle last time, and I think now we'll just add flip to it and just make the problem a lot worse.
Just to remind you also, 2 sessions ago, was it 2 sessions? I think it was 2 sessions. Al-Qadir and Khatam wanted to talk to me about Tumdurji as well. So just to remind you.
Yes. Yeah. I figured this is also why we keep spinning on this thing, because now he can give you even worse news about Tumdurji.
His dog died last night.
Of cancer.
Okay. Easy.
Trigger warning. Answer.
Yes. So that brings us back into the action, I think. Having established a little bit what this last score means, let us return to the moment. And as Tree is not with us, and as Saeeda is very badly poisoned, what is logical here, and what we have decided to do, is that Saeeda will simply not be in very much shape to do very much at all because she is suffering from a poisoning. So It's a very dramatic moment. She has just stumbled out, injured, and with a very discombobulated Mumtaz. And all of this is taking place like in the audience before the play. The play, which is still distracting people. But Ankia the Veiled is approaching you, and then Saeeda collapses into Bidrohi's arms. She probably didn't mean to collapse into Bidrohi's arms, knowing how proud she is. She was probably meaning to approach him and admonish him. But, you know, then she fell over.
Auntie? Auntie, are you okay? Auntie?
Saeeda?
Auntie?
I mean, she has very obviously been stabbed, so there is...
Clem, I respect her too much. I can't do it myself. Slap her awake.
I'm not doing that. Can you imagine what your aunt would say if I did that?
She'd probably say, it's good that Bidrohi didn't get to do it, or whatever. Why am I making jokes? No, she is Auntie?
I'll take her. I'll take her back. Right?
Yeah.
You deal with...
Mumtaz, are you okay?
She is pale-faced and wild-eyed, and her voice is croaking and dry, and she says, I don't know. I saw the outsides of the city. No, the past. Future?
Mumtaz, are you... What year is this? Do you remember me? Have you forgotten me? I am your sexy boyfriend. I say, cupping her in the face and looking her in the eye.
Yeah. She looks you in the eye and she says, they threw you into the wilderness when it was done. Yes, I remember.
Oh shit, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh shit, oh fuck. Saeeda auntie, if you were awake, I would have a lot of things to say to you right now.
Yeah, she is very clearly like still dazed and confused from like the visions.
Okay.
And as all of this is happening, two things are going on. I think one is Mushfiq stumbles off of stage, reeking of fish, because Cherubino couldn't keep him there however long. And the other thing is, as Mushfiq stumbles off the stage, he is going to see Ankia the Veiled, the Ustad of the Falling Star Sword School, descending the steps towards like the collapsed Saeeda, the confused Mumtaz, all of this going on. And so let's cut to Mushfiq for a moment. What do you do as you finally escape Cherubino's assault?
Yes, and I know how that ends. So I would have said that at the end of the play, like before I stumble back on, I bring out an even bigger fish to smack Cherubino with it.
Okay, yes. Very good.
Yeah.
So there is a fish duel going on as a result of you being dragged on stage as Captain Mackerel.
Yeah.
Who I guess in the play is just a fisherman, but you know.
Yes, and I said, now you'll see why they call me Captain Mackerel.
Yes.
I just want you to know that if my girlfriend wasn't clearly having visions of past and the future, and my mentor wasn't passed out from a poisoning, and all these other things happening, I would be there at the very front row cheering you on. I want you to know this.
So I don't actually know how big mackerels are, but I looked it up, and yeah, this is an appropriate size. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, good. Lovely. So you hit him with a mackerel off stage.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Now Mushfiq is Captain Mackerel's coming down. Right.
Please don't talk to Ankia the Veiled, the sexiest sword fighter in the city, while holding a mackerel. Well, please do.
I can't promise that.
Yeah. I mean,
all right. Mushfiq's gonna turn up triumphant, right? He's got the golden blade off our case, put Cherubino in his place, and now with the mackerel kind of slung over his shoulder.
Keeping it for later. It might be delicious.
Yeah. It's like
it is delicious.
It is delicious, and that's exactly what Mushfiq says when he comes back in. Yes. It's like, I know what we're having for dinner, boys. And then he sees all of this and he goes, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so Saeeda's bleeding out, right?
Saeeda is Yeah, I think Clem, who has been looking her over, I think you realize that it's not that Saeeda's bleeding out. I think you realize that she's been poisoned. Knowing you and your history with Tamira, the wine and drug dealer, right? I think you're pretty much familiar with like paralyzing poisons. In fact, you know what? It's cool here. I think you even recognize what this is. Let's just establish that you know that. Right?
Oh, that
So
bitch. She needs. They need help.
Yes, we should get them out of here right now.
You need to talk. I'll get her. I'm not. I'll get her to safety. You talk to the Ustad, okay?
Oh, okay.
I can't promise that I wouldn't just try and kill the woman who did this to you, Saeeda.
What woman? I don't think we know what
the person who tried to, the person who I tried to get us in through. Yeah, this has got her written all over it.
Okay. Clem. Okay, listen, Clem. You take care of Saeeda auntie. Okay, you take her back to the temple. Mushfiq bhai.
Yes.
Please, the mackerel is okay. One hand on mackerel, and other hand, please take Mumtaz away also to the temple. Okay, please.
And I think you don't have time to do this because I think it's cooler if Ankia arrives in the middle of this. Like, she's been descending for a while now. So as Bidrohi is frantically shouting this out, trying to like salvage the situation, she's just going to appear. And Ranveer will step aside. He has like great respect for her. And Ankia has entered the situation. So she is a sex symbol in the city. She is like famously attractive, but I think as we see her on screen, right, I think the deal with her is it's mostly that she's a really good dresser. She has like a fantastic fashion sense. So she has these red clothes on, cut with tasteful accessories. I guess she is veiled normally, so her face is concealed artfully, and I think she's actually like very tall and muscular. Like, it's
yeah, she is.
So she strides forwards, beholds the situation, and sees like the downed Saeeda and everything. And she says to all of you, really, "You have brought a demon to my opera. I'm not best pleased with that, to be honest."
Demon? What demon? Sherakata, have you been bringing demons around?
No demons here.
No demons here.
And Mushfiq turns up his pockets.
Yeah. She gestures at Bidrohi and she says, "Something did something to you. I'm not sure exactly what it was." And I think Ranveer just says in a low voice, like, "I noticed it too." As he says it, there is this tone of like he realizes that he was in sudden and unexpected danger.
Okay. I think this is a big moment for Bidrohi. This is a horrible moment, lots of pressure from all around, but you know what? He's forged in the fire.
Yeah.
So I think he just says, I don't know what you are all talking about, Ranveer sir and Ustad Ankia. Oh my, Ustad Ankia. And then he almost falters, but then he kind of regains his composure. I don't know what you're all talking about, but what I can say is that someone has poisoned my Ustad. And this is a big one because this is the first time I'm acknowledging Saeeda as Ustad.
Yeah.
Someone has poisoned my Ustad, and someone has done something horrible to my girlfriend. You see her, that hot lady? That's my girlfriend. And someone has this. These are things that I can see. These are proven. These have happened, and I demand. I demand justice. I demand satisfaction for these things. Okay?
Yes. Very well. I will see what I can do about your Ustad, but it will require a consultation.
Consultation with who?
She takes a ring off her finger, like very slowly, removes one of her rings, holds it between her hands, looks you straight in the eye, and she says, Rakis. And she turns the ring slowly 3 times in her hand.
You know, it's a good thing Bidrohi is so angry, because otherwise he'd be like, oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck. But anger has its own adrenaline and resolve.
Yep. Hausan Rakis is the patron of this sword school, and Rakis is, the demon prince of Hausan Rakis. And so she turns the ring, and she's going to do demon magic bullshit. Unless someone stops her, this is what's going to happen. And stops her, I mean, object, because you couldn't stop her by force, but you could probably ask her to stop if you wanted to. If not, then demon magic is going to happen to Saeeda, who can say neither this nor that about it, because she's unconscious.
I think Clem's going to say, please, we've had enough demons for today.
What demons?
And yes, and by enough we mean none.
Bidrohi is genuinely confused.
We're not worthy of of his gaze.
Well, we have been double-crossed, she says, and she pauses, and probably... let's not have a roll. I think she pauses at least. She stops this summoning ritual, and she says, we have been double-crossed. I'm not sure entirely by whom, but this stabbing was not carried out by one of mine, even though there is word from up above to go after you, and now I think I understand why.
Double-crossed? Whatever do you mean? Says Captain Mackerel.
Yeah. She looks down, and she says, we were not told there would be this kind of involvement. But something here reeks of the field. And she means the ghost field, of course. And looking down at Saeeda, I think it's she is a sword fighter, but I guess what we're learning here is that she is not unversed in the occult, right? She may not be a whisper herself, but she understands that powerful magic has been done with Saeeda at the center of it. And also, the whole, why are we being asked to attack some farmers? And she seems displeased with the whole affair. Sort of the achievement of your score last time, right, was that both Ranveer and Shah were screw this. And I think she is not inclined to go after you either. But at the same time, she's trying to figure out what has happened.
So I am taking up a lot of spotlight, so I'm happy for someone else to say something. But if they don't want to, I can just keep going.
Say something. I mean, so Mushfiq wasn't here for all of this, but let's just say that we can guess what happened, and we just want to cover this up, I suppose, because they wouldn't be all too pleased if they found out, for sure. So Reeks, no. No, ma'am, that's just old me, Captain Mackerel, and this Mackerel, also named Captain Mackerel.
Yes. Your mackerel is also named Captain Mackerel. She looks at you and she says, I really should pay closer attention to the role lists in these plays.
He's a method actor.
Yes, so I gathered.
Listen, don't worry about it. He's clearly pretending to be someone else. We all know that. Don't worry too much about it. Just let the man do his own life. Important thing is what is going on with Saeeda auntie. Who is trying to poison her? What is all this stuff about demons?
Who's trying to poison her is Mylera Clev, presumably. She just says.
Yeah, I was going to. If she wasn't going to say it, I was going to say it. But now I get to roleplay Bidrohi being surprised. So Bidrohi is just going to be like, Mylera Clev? Is that Ustad Jai Clev's Is that Ustad Jaisklev's daughter who like ran away to Dustwall and like did the things and I don't know, there was some stuff I heard and then she came back? Wasn't she like a criminal or something? You guys are hanging out with her?
You insult her at your own peril, but yes, we are, as you put it, hanging out with her.
Oh, insult her at my own peril. What is she going to be? Is she going to deny being all these things? Is she around? I am perfectly happy to insult her to her face. In fact, please.
Bidrohi, come on, just let it be.
No.
Let it be.
This cannot be let be. Clem, sibling Clem, it cannot be let be.
She looks to one side, and she looks at Ranveer, and he just says like, "She was supposed to be in the tent with me, and she's not." And that's
okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's dishonourable to use such a poison. I did not know that the Falling Star Sword School would stoop so low.
It was not a fight. It was not a fight. It was an ambush.
Mumtaz finally comes to, I think, and she says, "Yes, it was an ambush and a kidnapping, and I think there's a dead man in there." And as she says that, you hear the buzzing of bees. They have been slow to get here, but well, not that slow actually, because all of this is unfolded in a matter of minutes. So,
I think the issue is more like the bees were there, but the player was happening all this time, and we weren't paying attention.
Yeah, probably yeah. So you hear the bees and
a dead man.
Yeah, and I suppose the Rakshasa are on their way too, following the bees, as they do. So we see Rakshasa. We haven't seen the Rakshasa of Ashcloister before, actually. You're in like the entertainment district. So yeah, I think you see a little Rakshasa man who wears like very, very fine clothing for a Rakshasa, but almost like ragtag combinations of it.
Should we remind the audience what the Rakshasa is? Because I don't think they've shown up this season.
Yes. Fair enough. They are the collectors of the dead. When someone dies in Uduasha, their soul goes into the flame. There are no ghosts in Uduasha, and the body is taken care of by the Death Seeker bees, which are bees that turn them into corpse wax. Eventually, the Rakshasa are the caretakers of the bees. They are the undertakers, the keepers of the dead.
The bees eat all the flesh and all the soft bits, and then the bones and all the random stuff that the dead person would have had on them. The Rakshasa cart them away.
Yeah. And a little man wearing many scraps of cloth is slowly making his way over here. He's not particularly stopping by to talk with you or anything. He's going to do his job. But the evidence of someone having died becomes apparent in this moment. And Mumtaz says, "I don't precisely know what happened, but someone put a bag over my head. Someone put a bag over Saeeda's head. And then there was an awful lot of shouting."
Okay, Mumtaz, please, thank you. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Captain Mackerel is here. He will look after you. And Clem, please look after Ustad Saeeda. Ustad Ankia. It seems that if there's someone who's dead, it may be one of your people. And I don't know who killed them. Maybe it was Ustad Saeeda. In any case, there may be. Let us go see. Let us go see what the debts are to be paid and who must pay. And I think, like, as the representative of the school in Saeeda's in convalescence, I guess, I would like to talk. I'm going to take Ankia with me to the tent, and we're going to try to figure out if, like, this person who was killed, are they a member of the Falling Star School, and did Saeeda kill them? And like, because now honor and blood must be spilled in some way.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Exactly. So she will head away with you to do that, and I think to keep the spotlight on Mushfiq and Clem for a bit, the Ranveer turns towards Clem and says, "Well, I don't know precisely what happened there, but you are friends with him?" He says, and he nods after the disappearing Bidrohi.
Yeah, of a sort. Of a sort, yeah. He's a good man. He's a very good man.
Near as I can tell, my Ustad hasn't ordered me to kill you, even though an Ustad has. But it's probably for the best we're not seen together for all too long. I'm sorry about all this, though.
Thank you.
I think Mushfiq's gonna be less impressed by the apology. He goes, you say this is your opera, one of ours is ambushed and poisoned, and then you accuse us of what? Converting with demons? This is the great and heroic falling star, is it?
No, she wasn't accusing you. Not at all. I'm a simple man, I follow my passions, but this doesn't just smell of the ghost field. This smells of politics. I think you've been caught up in something. And I think we have been played for fools. And I think with that, he's actually just going to turn around because he said his piece, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill you. We have to figure out what the fuck. But we should probably not necessarily be seen together. Still, I think it's clear to you both that he is also like not on board with the killing some peasants for political reasons plan. So, you know.
What are you going to do about it? Clev's the one who's got the problem. He's clearly fucking with some powerful shit. What are you going to do about it if you're not on board with it?
Yeah, okay, you can make a roll here. He is trying to leave, but if you want to like push him further, I think it's an action at this point, actually.
Yeah, I think I am going to push him further. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's call it risky standard.
Yeah, I'm going to... I feel like this is intimidating or threatening. It's with force and personality. I'm going to command. Like, provoking a response.
Yep.
Cool. Risky standard. What would a devil's bargain here be?
So, what's a good devil's bargain?
Remind me what you're doing again?
Convincing Ranveer to like give you something more than just be like, I'm not going to kill you. That's basically it, if I understand you correctly.
Yeah, basically do something about it.
I have a devil's bargain, actually. And it's invoking that you know Tamira. Like, invoking that she's also in the VIP tent. We are not just, some random peasants. We matter. I think that's very distasteful to Clem, but it would make sense, right? To be like, I know your buddy in the tent over there.
Yeah, I'm feeling it's kind of like the company you keep up there. It's not exactly befitting the sort of honor that you're trying to give out to Mira. Yeah, that's a drug dealer essentially. Yeah.
I think it's enough. You sort of tip your hand that you know her. Yeah. Take the devil's bargain, and it will get back to her that you have used her name again.
Well, at least she can be helpful one more time.
If she doesn't want her name used, she should just change her name.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, she has. She has, believe me. But
do it again.
Anyway.
Do it again for the second time. Let's see. Oh, fuck me. There's 2 and a 3.
Yeah.
A salty classic.
Well.
Yeah. What he does is he you still have a point that he owes you one, but he can't do anything. What the outcome of your failure here will be is that he says nothing further to you, but he turns over his shoulder and he throws you something. And he just gives you a look as if you want help? All right, here. And he throws you a thing, and you presumably catch it. And it is a small golden coin. At first, you just think it's money, right? Like as if he's throwing you change, almost an insult. But then you turn it over, and on the reverse side of it is stamped a peacock. A peacock and a hyena, and it is a token of House Anrakis. And what he's saying is, if you want to talk politics, talk to them. And so the consequence you get here, actually, is a lost opportunity, in that the Falling Star will speak no further of this matter. They have kicked it upstairs. And the risky consequence here simply is like, you can either abandon this opportunity, or you can go talk to the nobility and see how they handle it. You have a token here that gets you their attention. So basically how I'm framing this is actually, you can try again, but from a desperate position. And it's with them.
Do it. No.
Fuck it, yeah.
Out of character, do it. In character,
Yeah. Note that House and Rockies are not here. They sponsored this whole event, but they're not attending it themselves. This is like a play for the masses. They have cooler entertainment of their own.
I made House on Ruckus, and I want the listeners to see the cool house I made.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah, their symbol is a peacock and a hyena, among others. They have many symbols, but this is what's imprinted on this particular coin. So yeah, you have been kicked upstairs, Clem. I still think it's like he's still doing you a favor, kinda, but not the favor you wanted.
Some people won't be deterred from their position, I suppose.
I guess what we have heard of Ranveer is that he does not touch politics. He really does not.
Tucks it into a fold in their clothing.
Very good. Is there more to the scene, or are you taking Saeeda to?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, I guess mechanically, there's like we know that she's not gonna die on us, but we should,
Yep.
Probably still do something in character.
Yes. My question here is, you know a medic, but she is at the House of the Hungry, and she's not a favorite contact. So you could take her to the charity hospital at the House of the Hungry for Pulumi. Is that what you do, or do you take her to some other contact or friend, or do you simply take her home? Like, what is your approach here to getting Saeeda healed?
Well, let's see.
Or, as an alternative, Clem has a good friend who is a medic who we have not seen.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Prince, did you mention what we did on Friday?
Oh, no, I have not. So we have, to flesh out Clem's backstory, as Clem is joining in the middle of the season, we have played a game of Microscope to detail Clem's backstory. And in that, we established a little more detail about her rival, her best friend, and some of her contacts. So, is there anything else I should be saying about it? Yes, it's out as an extra by the time you listen to this.
Should be.
I see that Clem has Battlefield Medic as a contact, so that seems...
Yeah.
He's our boy.
Yeah, let's see our new character.
Yeah. I think Clem looks at... She's like, I know somebody who can help us.
All right, let's go.
Knows this sort of poison before. He was a good guy.
Oh, just lead the way, and yeah, I think Saeeda being I'm sure he's just going to sling Saeeda over his shoulder as well. And
what about Mumtaz?
Clem's like, no, you take Mumtaz. I'll carry Saeeda, like Princess carry rather than a fireman's over the shoulder carry. She's an old lady. She's a lady. Don't do that.
Yeah, Mumtaz, I think, for her part, says like, I'm fine, but I should probably talk to... She looks down at the stage and she sighs. I should probably talk to Don John.
John?
And nobody of you actually know who Don John is. Saeeda does, but she goes like, I'll check in with Bidrohi later. Thanks. And out of character, to clarify, Don John is the enigmatic leader of the Blue Smoke Troop, their manager, who is almost never seen.
Okay, I'm not in the scene, but I have told Mushfiq Bhai to look after my girlfriend, who's clearly going through some things, you know?
Yeah, you can come with her if you want, but she is heading down towards the backstage again.
Alright, I think maybe Clem and Mushfiq can split off then. Like, so let's have Clem takes Saeeda to the medic, and Mushfiq I think is also like curious as well. Like, she's got to report something to Don John. So yeah, I think I'll just go. Oh, okay, sure. I'll take you there.
Okay, yeah, sure, why not? So we have 3 individual scenes. Let's. Okay, I do want to give them proper focus, but I think chronologically it just makes sense to do Bidrohi first because he's just going around the corner.
Yeah. So I don't know how long it'll be. We'll see.
Yeah. So you and the Ustad, Ankia, go around the corner alongside. I guess Ranveer fucked off, so it's actually just you and her. But she is not the sort of person to bother with bodyguards. So I guess it's you and you and her and the Rakshasa. And so you step into this dim, dark corridor with this battle ensued, and you like there's no corpse smell yet, right? But there is the rather freaky sight of a dead man covered in bees, crawling frantically all over the body and the clothes.
Yeah, we're used to this in the hospitality ghetto, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the little Rakshasa stands to one side and looks over it and says, "You best not disturb the bees right now. You know him? You know who he was?" And he looks up and, well, I guess you can see the clothes of the person, who are a lot less elegant than the Falling Star normally does. This is like clearly someone who was trying to be incognito in like very ordinary clothes with like a hood over his head and thick gloves, which you can make out. And I think, Anke is many things, but she's not a detective. So she looks down and she like slowly shakes her head and says, "Can we approach? I want to see if he has a ring." I'll check for you, the Rakshasa says, and he approaches. And the Rakshasa are one of the few people who can touch the bees. It's considered very bad luck, and B, they sting. But he pulls off a glove, and then he pulls off the other glove, and then he looks up and he shakes his head. And she says, "They're not one of mine, at least not someone who's graduated."
Okay. Well, wasn't one of ours. All the people are... Well, there's not a lot of us out there. So there's someone here who's dead, and we don't know. Unless I look at the Rakshasa, because I've heard stories about them.
Yeah.
I say, "Sir, is it true that you can talk to them?" And I gesture at the bees.
Yeah, I can ask him a couple of questions, sure.
Can they describe him?
He leans down. He goes, "You ask a lot, but all right. And he heads over. He like squats down. He takes up a bee on his fingers and he looks at it. And then he almost like shies backwards, like half in surprise, half in shock. He goes, "Oh, he ain't from Uduasha."
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, got ghosts all over him. Ghosts and the sea and Doskville. Guys from Doskville.
Okay.
And I think, given what you know about Melerakev...
Yeah, of course, yeah. I figured that. I do turn to Ustad Ankia with the sort of like look of resolve and triumph on my face, I guess. And I say, "I have no questions for Sir and the bees, do you, Ustad?"
No, I think we both understand the situation here.
Okay, shall we step outside and discuss?
Yeah, she withdraws as the guy goes. And the guy goes, Oi, it's customary to throw a Rakshasa a coin, when he does you a favor."
Sir, I'm so sorry, I forgot. Here, And you know what? I'm going to roll lifestyle. I'm going to throw him
Yep.
some extra. I'm going to see how much I can throw him.
Yep, absolutely.
That's a 3. I'm poor.
Yes. Okay. You have an option here. I think you can either spend an actual coin or 2 stash, or this guy is going to be pissed off because I think if you roll a 3, what you have in spare change is just going to be an insult.
Shit. Okay. I'm going to throw some stash. What does that look like? I have a nice earring, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Mom does give it to me.
Yeah.
What is gained is yeeted away.
Yes. You throw it to him, he snatches it, and he goes, "Oh, great! This'll go great with my clothes, thanks." And
sir, I have chosen it just for you, for that very purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. This guy is probably not going to be relevant, but I have named him in my head. His name is Dobi. He is a Rakshasa and a washerman.
Anyway.
You head back out, and I guess, you step back out into the fresh air.
And I'm calming down, like that burst of fury and adrenaline is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like really conscious that I'm like right next to Ustad Ankia the Veiled, all the things that I said about her last session, and how she's my crush / idol, and she's like super cool in real life, obviously, and all that. But I'm still holding firm. Mm-hmm. I'm going to look her in the eye, which are, of course, that's the only visible part of her body right now. Mm-hmm. But they are incredible eyes. And even though my heart's thumping, I'm going to say my heart's thumping with fear and anger and also, just like excitement and all that. But I'm still going to say, Ustad. So as I understand the situation, Mylera Clev, who is of the Falling Star School, but not an Ustad, has done me a grave injury by attempting to kidnap my girlfriend, who is not involved at all in any of this, and she has poisoned my Ustad. And thus, as an Ustad of the Falling Star School, I ask you to convey to her my formal challenge. And I'm going to demand satisfaction.
Yeah. Okay, you have a move for this even.
Yeah.
How does it work again?
So I can issue a challenge to a single opponent to compel them to fight me for a few moments. Mm-hmm. So that's how it normally does.
Yeah. Okay, so the move is not really applicable, but you are telling her to issue the challenge. And she crosses her arms and she says, "I will convey it." And she's just utterly unamused by all of this.
I'm happy to use the move if it means that Mylera Clev will show up and there's no way that she wiggles out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning. Yeah.
Sure.
So normally it's meant to be like, during a fight you just make someone fight you, but like to enable a score, I think I'm going to take 3 stress just roll. Mm-hmm. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely. So okay, Mylera Clev will show up and will face you.
Cool. So I have that to look forward to.
Yeah. And this may worsen the war in some ways, even though you've gotten a third of the school off your backs.
Yeah.
It
will really how shall we say, purify the core essence of what the war's really about.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So, done with that scene, I suppose?
Yeah, I think so.
It makes his way away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Bidrohi, and as he turns away, I think he turns around and says, "Big fan." And then leaves.
Yeah. Yep. And if she hears you, she does not acknowledge you. Very good.
Yeah. Like stars, they shouldn't.
Uh-huh. Meanwhile, Clem, where do you think Aaron lives these days? What's his type of accommodation?
Oh, that's a question. I was dreading that.
I have an idea of what he's like, so I'm going to spring that on you, but...
Oh no. You mean to say he's not a sweet little nerdy guy after all the horrible things that went down during the war?
I mean, in your backstory, he was a sweet little nerdy guy like 15 years ago. So
Was he
Yeah, how long
sweet?
was that? How long
Was
was
he
that?
sweet?
Really?
He was a nerdy guy.
He was a nerdy.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was. I suppose he was nice, right?
Mhm.
I kind of like the idea of him being in Galampith, just because I think that's just a really cool aesthetic to have, like a medic working in that sort of area.
In the industrial area with the steam and the waxwork and everything. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very cool. Maybe I think he's picked up tricks from all over. He has, after all, traveled the world widely now. We don't even know why he's in Uduasha. We never established that, so I guess we'll find that out. And how many times do you think you've seen Aaron before this since you've been in Uduasha? I guess we'll establish that in the scene, actually, because we'll see what the vibe is like. Unless you have some opinion on it now.
No, nothing yet. I think nothing.
We know that you've been reunited with him, and we know you know where he lives, and so yeah, he has a workshop in Galampith, and because he has a workshop in Galampith, yeah, I think he is working closely with like the waxwork golems and with like esoteric meetings of medicine and what is almost necromancy, like doing stuff with the wax produced by the bodies, or produced by the bees from the bodies. And so you step into this like smoky, low workshop. It's very hot. There's steam passing by overhead. There's like clanging in the background. There's like a couple of assistants moving about because he is, kind of a master of his craft at this point. He has people he teaches. One of them lets you in, and then we see Aaron, who is still a thin, weedy guy with one leg made of spark craft and metal, and one hand made of wax. And back in the war, he lost a leg and a hand, and suffered, in addition, some burn scars all over. He has been through some shit. He still wears the thick glasses, though he has added like a bunch of extra lenses that fold down over them. So, yeah, a different man. And he looks up from his work. He is reading, like studying some sort of manual. And he says, Clementine.
Aaron, I need your help, please.
Yes. No, you don't. No, there's nothing wrong with you. No, technically, I think what you mean is to say is that person you're carrying needs my help.
This guy didn't change.
That's not sweet and nerdy.
And he was like this before too.
He's very pedantic, okay? Anyway, he stands up. His like mechanical leg hisses. It's not exactly the right size for him, so he leans slightly as he walks. And he comes forward and says, Who exactly is this? What sort of company have you fallen in with now? Musharafists? No?
No, not this
the
time.
Vanguard?
No, not this time. The Catharacy down the hospitality ghetto. I think this might be the one. Aaron, I think this might be the one. That's why it's me asking you for the help for them.
You think this might be the one? Really? Now, finally, I've heard this sort of language before. You fall in with these people, you get in an awful lot of trouble. Fine, lay her down. Do you know what's wrong with her? Do you know what happened? Do you have a diagnosis? Do you have any information at all?
Yep, stabbed. Couple times. Poison. The usual.
Aha. Yes, that's very exact and precise. I'm glad you know which of the organs can get stabbed, he says, and he looks at his anatomical charts.
You also know which poison it is, right?
Yeah. the usual poison, the one that I don't like to talk about, Aaron.
Ah.
Don't. I'd rather not.
Yes.
Mention it.
Words have power, don't they? That's what people say. Superstitious idiots. I have the book on it here somewhere. He pulls out some slightly soggy books from all the steam and the humidity that rises in this part of Udvasha, and he looks very annoyed with it.
He is also an aficionado of the playful turtle. Good.
I think he's not an aficionado of it. He just happens to live nearby it, and it annoys him to no fucking end. That's the. But anyway, he pulls out the book. He moves over to Saeeda, and he says, "Well, whoever this Kethrisi person is, it will require some time in recovery. Not just the antidote, but we need to make sure the wound heals smoothly and no loss of motor functions. And this might be the one, really. Out of curiosity, who did the stabbing?"
One of the Falling Star lot. They like to play at that on a ship, right? I know.
Well, okay. I assume they don't know you came to me about this matter, and if they do, I assume they don't take offense to it. But maybe I shouldn't be assuming things. It's cost me some limbs before.
Oh, you've got a couple more to lose. Right?
What a cute dynamic.
Yes. He nods and he says, "You are technically correct." And then he will lean down over Saeeda.
The best kind of correct,
Yes.
hey, Aaron.
I think there's a little smile playing across his lips, and he looks up at you and he says, Yes. You know, you haven't changed at all."
I think some would say differently. Yeah.
I think that might be the scene. I think it's...
Mushfiq bhai, please take notes. This is how you should talk to Clem. Okay?
Yeah. I like how Aaron has turned out. I hope you feel happy with his development too.
He's such a sweet little nerdy boy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he still is somehow.
Yes.
So yeah, Aaron is going to be tending to Saeeda, and this is interesting because this means when we get Saeeda back in play, I think he will have to have a scene with Aaron as well.
Nice.
I
can't wait.
I was just thinking, Saeeda with this guy, great dynamic.
Oh, God.
I'm not sure if this guy's going to survive meeting with Saeeda.
Yes.
Oh no, they're exactly the same kind of person, but in different, but like
No, that's what I mean.
different things.
There's too much.
Yes. Yeah. So cutting to Mushfiq backstage, and like backstage is still kind of an improvised, ramshackle area. It's like quite ragtag.
That's fine. He knows his way around. He's a backdoor man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You've been in here before, and Mumtaz, you probably see being carried nearby is Cherubino, who has a big bruise on his face from how you hit him very hard with a mackerel and threw him off stage. And he goes up and taps the shoulder of one of the people in the Greek chorus. Right. One of the people that Clem was just standing next to just before. And this person turns around wearing an elaborate mask. We never established what the hell this opera was about, but it's something to do with fish, fishermen. So I think this guy turns around and he's wearing an elaborate shrimp mask.
I remembered the story. Would you like me to tell you what the opera was about?
Okay, yes, please do.
It was about a wise but impish emperor or king or something who went to find a man in the desert who claimed to be a wise fisherman, but he's in the middle of the desert. So he just keeps like imagining fish. So to snap him out of it, the wise emperor starts slapping him with fish.
Right. Yes. Right. Okay. So I guess it's not actually it can still be a shrimp. The chorus is from the fisherman's imagination.
Yeah. You can guess shrimp.
So this like very strange crustacean mask turns around, and Mumtaz says, "Well, Sorry, I brought a friend. It's, listen, I just wanted to talk to you. Saeeda, you know Saeeda, you met Saeeda. She said a name. I think I've seen one of the things from the book. And this guy nods slowly. He casts an eye over towards Mushfiq. And then he says quite slowly and solemnly, like looking at Mushfiq, still done up as Captain Mackerel. You know, I preferred you in the role as the tiger.
What can Mushfiq say? I think Mushfiq says, I thought this play was a stirring success.
Aside from the little interruption,
Mhm.
we can only hope our patrons pay us. Mumtaz just goes like, I need to double check something. Do you have it here? And he like waves at her and takes her to like, and I think they've just packed this like occult dangerous book with like their other scene performance, right? They have all their librettos and stuff.
Right.
It's just in with them. And so this is the first time you've seen this, the book bound in blue leather since you acquired it for the troop, right? And they have not actually let you near it before, so it's very funny that Mushfiq, the least interested person probably, is the one who gets to see it again. And Mumtaz does not particularly care. She is like occupied with this. So she's going to open the book and like check some passage in it.
But as it happens, I say Mushfiq is interested because of all this shit that Saeeda's been saying. So I'm not gonna ask for the book directly. So Mumtaz is leafing through it. Can I get a glimpse of what she's looking at? Maybe like.
Yeah, I think you can totally look over her shoulder. I think it's well set up for that. And what she is doing is this is basically a book that consults the actual occult secrets they were trying to fake in the opera you did a score about. And what the I think you can get a glimpse, but maybe there should be some sort of role to make sense of it. But what it does seem to be is a compilation of like stories. So not the full length operas or whatever, but a compilation of stories that have, and this is the tricky part, have or will be turned into operas. It's an occult book, so it doesn't necessarily have to make sense.
You just gotta. I mean, it's so easy to write a story that will be turned into an opera. Just do it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you can make some sort of roll here if you want to glean some deeper insight from it. But if you want to just like figure out what it is, then yeah, it's like a compilation of tales from Uduasha. Some of which are true, some of which are not, some of which will become true.
Yeah, well, that interests me because I'm trying to figure out, well, what the hell's going on. Well, and
yeah, I think it's logical with some sort of role, probably like study or attune, to try to make sense of this.
Yeah.
I think it's a controlled position because while it is like a dangerous occult book, you are not delving into it too deeply, and you have people here who have already deciphered it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think it's limited effect because you're just peeking in it now that I think about it. So it's controlled limited. You can make it risky standard, I think, if you like more overtly like go up next to Mumtaz and like try to help her read it or something. What she's doing, obviously, she's looking for references to the Prince of Endings and this whole they threw Prince Katam into the wilderness. That's what she's trying to.
Mm-hmm. I think it's very much in character for Mushfiq to just, settle up like next to her and also go, yes, it's quite very interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so. Yes. You can make a roll at risky standard then as you try to research this alongside her.
All right. Can I get an assist or some kind from someone? Maybe Saeeda, even though she's almost dead.
So you can't get an assist from Saeeda because her player is not here to consent to it, but I can do a devil's bargain tied to Saeeda, I suppose.
Sure.
I
was just thinking that, like she's Saeeda's the only one who's ever mentioned any of this stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. okay, I have a devil's bargain for you, and it's like as this book is being paged through, there will also be a section involving your as yet I think unnamed Ustad, the person you are looking for.
Okay.
Apparently, they are featured in a story or something.
Aadiyat, I demand you actually follow up on this, Ustad.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm also
Yes.
trying to follow up on all
We have not named your missing Ustad yet, have we?
Oh no, we could.
No. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Well,
okay.
let's do it.
Here's your devil's bargain. Name your Ustad.
Do it
That's
now.
my devil's bargain?
What?
That's my devil's bargain?
Yes.
Well, also that this will be tied to.
The devil's bargain is that you have to give him a real name that isn't like fish themed.
No, I'm gonna say his name is Shahid.
Shahed.
Shahed.
Right.
Shahid, yeah.
Yes. So Ustad Shahed passes by in this book, and you can take a bonus dice from this, but I will tell you it has consequences beyond because you learn something about him in this moment. But make the roll first, and we'll see how that goes.
Probably poorly.
So it's risky standard. A 1 and a 1.
I don't want to know.
Lovely.
Okay.
So, what happens here is that you try to read through this book, and you cannot make head or tails of anything about the Prince of Endings, or Prince Katam, or any of the other names. And I think the simple consequence here is that Mumtaz cannot either. So the risk you are exposing them both to is that she is going to continue to be troubled by dreams and nightmares and visions she can't understand, and the book does not actually help her. So unless you want to resist it, she is going to continue to have weird dreams and hallucinations and reverie and stuff, and her spiritual affliction becomes worse.
Well, I mean, Bidrohi told his dear old friend, Shankarabharanam to look after Mumtaz, so I can't let that happen.
Yeah, but this is also kind of an out-of-character decision, right?
Yeah.
You could just go actually, Mushfiq is not capable of helping her with this.
Mushfiq is capable of helping her by, going, oh no, don't give up, keep at it,
Okay.
even after I'm gone.
Okay.
You'll get it eventually.
Fair enough. You can resist it then. I think it's either insight or resolve. And I think the reason you cannot stay and continue reading it furthermore makes sense then, since this action failed and you took this devil's bargain, is that you read the short story that describes Ustad Shahed's death. So yes, you will read the story of Ustad Shahed's death in Udwasha, and you will, I suppose, realize, as these things are written, that he is going, in fact, to be killed by Gurban the camel, the very people smuggler who got him into the city.
Now that's what I call bloody good drama.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, let's resist. I'm gonna resist with resolve because I'm kidding. I'm providing emotional support to Mumtaz.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. No, see, no stress at all. That's
It's a 6. No stress at all. You're providing her with emotional assistance. Okay, I am starting a clock that is called simply Ustad Shahed dies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
It turns out Mumtaz is really comforted by the smell of fish because she grew up on the coast. Her father was a fisherman.
Mm-hmm. That's easy. This is what the play is actually about,
So, I have started the clock but not yet ticked it, but we now know that he is living on borrowed time.
Well,
And I don't know if you can avert this, right? Maybe what
Maybe.
the stuff in this book is destiny, but maybe not.
we'll see. Well, do you wanted me to carry on with this and have a lot of motivation?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple. It's very simple. We find the person he is borrowing his time from and tell them, can you, ask for it back later?
Yeah.
Can we extend? Yeah, we're going to refinance this loan. Can we mortgage something for this?
Yes.
Can we trade in?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a campaign.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Okay,
what?
Yes.
Now what?
I think that's the scene. So I think we have done all of the conclusions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's downtime time.
We do know that Mumtaz will be eventually able to piece things together, even if Mushfiq has gotten no further information here. I don't know what piecing things together mean, by the way, because again, all of this is weird shit made up by Saeeda and Tree, but we will get to it.
Yeah. See?
But we can define it now.
Yeah.
Well, they're not
Yeah.
here. Aha.
Exactly. This is exactly what Tree deserves. I believe this.
We're going to
wholeheartedly.
define all your enigmatic bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, I would have done it
Aha.
if Mushfiq had succeeded, but Mushfiq did not succeed, so here we are.
Hmm. Lol.
Mhm.
Okay, so downtime time for downtime.
Yes,
This time.
I think we're in downtime.
Okay,
And
now-
I suppose we have defined that there will be some sort of clash with Malaria Clev, but we can focus on downtime, or we can breeze through downtime and focus on Malaria Clev as you prefer.
I think we can do okay amounts of downtime
Yeah.
and then do something.
Oh, Aadiyat, have you thought about what you're going to do for your playbook advance? Because we briefly discussed that after session last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
About that trauma thing.
Well, I did have somewhat of an idea. So, Zoheb also mentioned that Mushfiq was being quite unkind to Bidrohi, and maybe we should do something about that.
I felt
And I agree.
bad.
And I agree. So, my idea is, I think if Mushfiq is being like this, it's because of his his past traumas with losing all his friends and everything, and he's just being kind of like he's just kind of pushing Bidrohi away. So maybe one way to both deal with the Bidrohi situation and Mushfiq's many traumas, and is for him to to talk about some of these feelings and open up. So what for downtime, Mushfiq's gonna go see a therapist.
Okay.
In Uduasha? What's that like?
or someone close enough to a therapist.
Yes.
Which in this case could be.
You know who the best therapist of all time is?
Is it
The Rakshasa called Daddy Dunda.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You also have Aziz, a bartender who is
Oh my god, yes.
bar therapy.
Make it happen.
So, but before that, Prince. Currently, Mushfiq has 3 traumas.
Yes.
One more would be bad.
Mhm.
So, I would like to either, maybe maybe through this downtime action, maybe I can either gain an extra stress box or an extra trauma box or something.
Working on healing a trauma or expanding your trauma capacity. Yeah.
Yeah, if you like.
I dig it. Okay, so I have 2 variants here for this. One is a straightforward 12 clock, and you can work on this and get an opportunity to do it via therapy and forging a way forward. And the other one is an 8 clock, but it will not actually finish until you have settled things with your Ustad, because I think that makes sense. You're trying to work out trauma from your past. So we can make it a 12 clock, or we can make it an 8 clock that gives you a chance to confront your past at the end of it.
All right, I think I'm gonna go with the former, because the way I'm thinking about it is that it's not necessarily anything to do with Ustad. It's more like Mushfiq learning to make friends and rely on them again, without being afraid of all of them just dying on him.
That's exactly how I wanted to frame it. 8 if it's revisiting your past, but 12 if it's towards your future, which I think is harder, but also frees you up more.
Yeah, I think that's better.
If I may
Let's
suggest,
make it a 12 clock.
From the mechanical perspective, since you have that advance now, you could just take an ability that gives you an extra trauma box and something else, kind of reskinning the survivor ability. And you could do that, and then also work on a long-term project to also get rid of a trauma. So you'd have the ability to take 5 trauma, but you'd have 2 trauma instead of 3. Once you're done.
I don't think I need all that extra room. Or maybe
it's only 10 sessions. It's only been 10 sessions.
Yeah. All right. Fine.
There's so much more to see of Mushfiq.
Yeah. So many sides.
Yeah.
Now that
I will. Yeah. I'll use up my playbook advance to get that, and
So survivor gives you an extra stress box, not an extra trauma box, though.
yeah, that's fine.
So if you reskin it to be an extra trauma box.
Okay.
I can have an extra stress box as well. I mean, gives me more.
Sure.
Okay, so an extra stress box and working on healing trauma.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. That makes sense too.
Very good. Okay.
Do you want to take survivor as it is?
I think it just makes sense for Mushfiq to be able to survive in the Deathlands. But
that makes sense for him. Yep.
Yeah, I'll just take that then.
Cool.
And this does mean that we might be able to see some adventures in the desert down the line, because now Mushfiq has the mechanical ability to survive in the desert. So
I like that.
Yes, very good. It's done.
Okay. Right. So a 12 project to deal with your traumas. And dealing with trauma is never easy in this game. So it will not just be finish the project and it's done. There will be some free play scenes also. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I had in mind. Replay, maybe get to know Bidrohi more.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you starting your project by talking to Bidrohi, or are you starting your project by seeking therapy?
Okay. Given what Mushfiq's just learned, I think the best place to start actually is one of his old friends, which is Zahir.
Zahir.
Yes, because we can talk about the fact that, Ustad Shahid's about to die, and, Zahir should probably know as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's make it at least a short scene. Yeah. So you meet with Zahir. I guess you meet in the restaurant. That's your usual hangout, right? It makes sense. He would be there.
We could meet at Aziz's bar as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. At Aziz's bar. Lovely. So Zahir is there. He is okay. For some reason, I have him throwing darts in my mind, so I'm gonna go with that. He's playing darts.
Yeah.
Nice.
I forget what his tags were. I think I said he was refined and something about he had a soft spot for animals.
Headstrong, refined, loves animals.
Headstrong, refined, loves animals. Okay, and I guess plays darts.
Darts.
Yeah. He throws one at the board, sees you come in, and he goes, Mushfiq, you want to play, or do you have somewhere to be? Deadlines to keep? And he's still angry about last time where you accused him of being late.
And Mushfiq says, deadline's the right word, all right. Sit down.
What? He pauses and sees that you're serious and kind of throws the last dart blindly, misses the board, just sticks it in the wall, leaves it there for now, and then he sits down and goes, no jokes?
No jokes. Or, I mean, I don't know, at least I don't think so. I don't know how to explain this. Yeah, something's up. I mean, I don't know how to explain this, but lately I've been getting this feeling, right? Something like the war, right? What do you know about the war? What were we told about the war, right? We're just protecting our farmlands, right? All to do with the radiant energy, all that. Yeah.
Yeah. He says, and he does not like to think about the war. I think it's
no. But Saeeda, who has her on the crew, she's been saying some stuff. Something about a prince from Kethris, and how the great powers of this city have betrayed him.
Yeah, I know something vaguely about that. I figured that was about your whole petition to establish a house or something, right? You did some paperwork.
No, this is in the past, or maybe or in the future. It doesn't make any sense at all to me, right? But I've just got this feeling when if this happened in the past, right? What do some noble houses of Uduasha have to do with Kethris? Which, I mean, out of character, how far away is Kethris, do you think, canonically?
Yeah, far, like
Far
days
away.
away. So
Yeah, like, we should be in, like, we shouldn't even cross their mind, but, like, they've been conspiring against us, throwing some prince into the wilderness or something, and, like, what did they have to do with us? And I just get this feeling the war was about this somehow. And I don't know why I feel this way, but somehow I just know.
I know what you mean, kind of. I thought it was just about us, but I get the feeling too here in Udwasha. There's a lot going on. The Empire, Kethris. People are talking about Sunfall for some reason, although all they say is don't go there. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah. And today, it's going through this book, right? This book that Saeeda really wanted to get her hands on. And, like, said, like, what's the Shahid? He's going to die here. Like, his name was in that book, and it said that he was going to die.
Have you told him that he's even in Udwasha? Because you learned that pretty recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, right now, this is the important part. Let's make it diegetic.
Yeah, exactly. So he goes like, wait, he's here?
A lot has gone down, right? Like,
all right. Okay. Well, I don't know about this book. Could be. I don't know that I believe in prophecy, but I definitely believe in people writing kill lists. Do you know where he is?
Maybe. So, guess who else I ran into just a few days ago?
You have that look about you, Omid.
Who else, right? He was looking for me as well. Not necessarily to kill me, he says, but to tell me to get out of town because things are in motion. Things beyond our understanding.
Well, I know that kind of talk. That's what they say when they want to split us up and keep us from working together, isn't it?
Well, still here. But he did give me a useful piece of information. Ustad Shahid is here, and I know the name of the guy who smuggled him in.
Brave man. I'd like to shake his hand.
Oh, I think we'll be shaking more out of him than that.
All right, he says. Are we in a hurry?
I think it's also a good opportunity for them to kind of maybe like we don't have to like act out the whole scene because
Yeah. I was thinking we would transition to you working on this project and swapping stories here.
Yeah, I'm thinking that as Mushfiq and Zahir are like talking about because it feels like they're going to war again on the same side, right? And like maybe that somehow ties into like Mushfiq's like working on his traumas.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
So what sort of action do you think it is here?
Oh, I mean, it has to be consort, right? Because
yeah, makes sense. And it's with your friend, so take +1 dive. And let's see if talking to your friend makes you feel any better. It makes you work through your traumas.
302.
1 tick only. I think the reason it's 1 tick is it's not that it's a bad time with Zahir, but I think very often when working through traumas with another person who has the same traumas, it's often hard to make progress because you end up just kind of talking things through, but being unable to achieve that shift of mindset. So I think it makes sense. It's like it's nice to share a story, but Zahir is no more healed from this than you are.
But I guess this is step 1, acknowledging the problem.
Exactly. Yeah. So you and Zahir have acknowledged the 2 problems. 1, you're too hung up on the past, and also your old friend is about to die.
Yeah.
So, lovely. Do you have a second downtime action in mind?
Well, we can move on to someone else and then maybe come back to this, I guess. Oh wait, I did have a second downtime action in mind actually. But I forgot because all of this came up. Which was one of my other ongoing projects is figuring out Al-Qadir.
Yes.
Yeah, so Here's a question. Al-Qadr, he's not rich, right? Like he's
No.
supposed to be the man of the people, but he's not. He's not nobility. He doesn't.
No, he's not
He's not
nobility.
wealthy.
He's not rich. He like dresses well. He's one of those people,
Exactly.
right? Who is
Exactly, Prince. He dresses well. Where does he get his money to dress so nicely?
excellent. Uh-huh.
Mm.
You can absolutely try to investigate this. Is this like a hunt to follow him around, or a survey to survey his finances?
No,
or...
there's no need for any of that because I have a Al-Qadr expert on hand, which is Bidrohi.
You're gonna go chat with Bidrohi about Al-Qadar's money. Lovely. Let's see the scene.
Mm-hmm. Where can I be found under the circumstances? I think I'm at home, eating, and I'm really upset about everything that's happened. I don't tell my mom that I'm going to go toe to toe to the death with Master Swordswoman. Not that bit, but I think I told her that Saeeda's ill and so on. So I'm just morose. It's not a good time for me right now.
Right.
But I always have time for Mushfiq.
Of course. Okay, to make this all kind of make sense in the timeline, let's also say that while Mushfiq and Zahir were talking about, conspiracies and all that, like Mushfiq mentioned that he doesn't Omid also mentioned that not to trust Al-Qadr, and there was something there. So this is all part of the overall investigation into the war. So so what's Bidrohi doing? Just sadly looking out a window.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those. I'm in my bedroom. In fact, we've never seen my room.
No, that's good.
Yeah. So if you walk in, you'll find a narrow cot, bunch of like swords on the walls and stuff like that. A box of clothes, and lots of like random books with titles like Introduction to Modern Business Economics and things like that. Just like the sort of like random books that no one actually wants, and that you just find like lying on the street as someone's like moving out, and just kind of throw it over there. He picks those up and then he reads through them for like funny phrases.
So that's where it comes from.
Yes.
Sorry, what was the last part?
Yeah, that's where he gets all his like random bullshit phrases and so on that he throws out.
I see.
And I think he's reading a book. What would the title be? I think something along the lines of Emotional Positivity and You. And he's just lying in bed reading it.
All right. Well, unlike some people, Mushfiq will knock on the door first.
Very important when coming to see Bidrohi. This is true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But right now, the only person he's with is science. Science itself. Science is his mistress today. I was like, please come in.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, Mushfiq just picks it out of the door. Yeah, now a good time, Bidrohi. And I think Mushfiq's kind of aware that, Bidrohi is a bit sad, a bit, it might not be the best time.
Sherekatam, in a global context, this is a very, very bad time in general for me and for, I think, everyone. However, I will say that in the local context, the fact that you are here means that now is a better time than 5 minutes ago.
Mushfiq digest this okay, and
I'm very happy to see you.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
Would you sit down? Would you like some tea? Would you like a gulab jamun? I think Bal Murad's here. I can tell him to get out and get his gulab jamun.
No, it's on his business, unfortunately.
Business?
Well, you're just a few. I was just a bit curious about your other favorite person in the world, Mr. Al-Qadr.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were talking about Sister Moss.
How sweet. No, he doesn't say that part, but the other guys.
Or my mom, or Usra, or Al-Qadr is up there. Sure, Al-Qadr sir, he's cool. I like him.
Yes, him. Yeah.
Not that I rank my friends, though. If I did, you would be up there, very close to number 1, after Sister Moss. Anyway, what did you want?
Oh, just he has a tendency to always find us at moments that are opportune for him. Have you ever thought about like what he's up to?
I mean, sometimes I think about it. Sometimes I wonder, what is Alcadarsar doing right now? Like to imagine him speaking at dinner parties that he wasn't invited to. I like to imagine him trying, kind of like walking through the streets, finding sad-looking people and giving them pearls of wisdom, and then narrowly escaping being beaten to death by them. But Sherekatam, I feel that you are here talking about Alcadarsar because I know you don't like him. Sherekatam, I'm a very good reader of people. So I like that you have not brought this up yet because you don't want to make me choose between you and him. And I appreciate that very much. Don't think I don't. But if you're asking about him, it's because of a particular reason, isn't it?
It is for a particular reason, yeah. I mean, as you say yourself, he's not wanted anywhere. No one doesn't actually do anything of value, yeah?
That's not quite what I said, but okay.
Well, that's okay. I read between the lines. So it's funny that a man such as him seems to be a man of means. Because I saw him just, the day that Clem arrived, getting into a dispute about, what was it, Shadow Silk, which, now I'm no expert on, the latest fashion, but I'm to understand that costs an arm and a leg just for a bolt of that thing.
Can you guys clarify for me out of character, you and Prince, like if I heard about this thing with Tumjurji yet?
No, I don't think you have.
Okay.
I've been meaning for it to happen, but it hasn't happened yet, and I think it's cool if you hear it from Mushfiq first. It's very funny.
Alcadarsar is trying to get his hands on Shadow Silk. I mean, that totally checks out for me, Sherekatam. I mean, it's exactly the kind of thing he would try to do, and then he would fail. Then I'd get into a lot of trouble. Then I'd have to go and bail him out. But that's fine, because I'd get my hands on some Shadow Silk while I'm bailing him out, and so on. We'd have a nice adventure. But like, just because the man wants Shadow Silk doesn't mean he has the means to acquire Shadow Silk, Sherekatam.
Well, Shadow Silk is just one of the many things that he doesn't seem to have the means to acquire, but has.
Like a Nobel title.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, who pays for his vests?
His vests. Sherekatam, let me tell you something about Alcadarsar. And I'm going to roll fortune to see how good my answer actually is. Sure. Maybe I'm using the bullshit. I'm going to say something, and we'll see if it's true or not.
Okay, so you make this roll. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, if it's a 6, then it's true. If it's not, then it's half true or whatever.
Okay, either way, you are working on this clock, I guess. So you're taking, you're doing, well, Bidrohi is doing Mushfiq's downtime action for him, kind of. We'll frame it that way.
Does that make sense for you, Aadiyat?
Well, yeah, I mean, because I'm using you as my source of information, so let's see how good your information is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's a clock that you started, right?
It has 1 tick so far, and it's a 4 clock. Yeah. So if you roll a 6, you will actually solve it and figure out an insight about.
I'm happy to call this one of my downtime actions.
Okay, so then you've taken 1 downtime action each.
Okay, and I am going to get an extra dice because we have high society. Mm-hmm. And, well, Alcadarsar is relatively high society for the context of our people.
Yeah, sure. Particularly when you're trying to figure out why he is high society. So it's 2 ticks, and you can say what you want.
Okay. So what I'd say, and then you guys can modify it a bit, Prince, is that, okay, here's the thing about Alcadarsar. Alcadarsar, it's not quite true that he isn't wanted, that he goes around, that he contributes nothing. Alcadarsar contributes something very important, which is absolute bullshit. Okay, this is very important, Sherekatam. I know you're a straight shooter, but absolute bullshit is very important when you, like us, are like down in the dumps and there's nothing going on. People like Alcadarsar, they go around and they talk a big game, and most people can see through it, but sometimes, it makes it work. And he goes around, calls himself a man of the people, right? So if he says man of the people, then we are a people. You get what I mean? And things like that, they sometimes he does people favors, and people are grateful. And like, for example, I go to really cool tailor, Tum Durji. You should come with me sometime, by the way. And he did a favor for Tum Durji back in the day. He got him his land deed and so on to open up his shop, his trade license, and he did that just through the gift of Gab. Sometimes it works. It really does. And Tum Durji gives him preferential treatment and gives him a nice discount on vests. So Tum Durji is good. He's not even that expensive. And Al-Qadir Sir gets a nice discount. Works out for everyone. And that's what happens when you have a good relationship with people and you talk absolute bullshit. It's not that mysterious.
Yeah, I think what I will interfere with here, as Bidrohi contributes to this information about yes, he's a bullshitter, is I think this is you're speaking of Al-Qadir and it's a speak of the devil situation. So I think you will hear from outside, from downstairs,
brothers.
Yeah, exactly. Brothers, are you home? He calls out, and I think he's here. I also think this gives Mushfiq opportunity to finish this clock if he wants to.
Okay, Al-Qadir Sir, I am absolutely here. Happy to come see you. And then I look at Mushfiq and I kind of put my hand on his hand and I say, Sher Khatam, you have impeccable instincts. And even though I'm not super sure where you're going with this one, and maybe you're going somewhere that leads nowhere, if you want to go anywhere with this, then I will always be with you, 100%. Okay? Do you want to ambush? Do you want to kidnap this man and beat him up for answers? I don't think that's a good idea, but if you do it, I will do it.
No, I don't want to be. No, I mean, out of character, in character, I don't. I actually didn't have another plan for what to ask Al-Qadir at this moment, so.
You can wait with it. It's.
Yeah, I mean, he can still turn up.
Yeah. Mostly he's here because I think it's a funny opportunity for him to tell Bidrohi about Tum Durji.
Yeah. Okay.
Since both were mentioned.
How about the
you can save your downtime action if you want.
I'm going to go talk to Al-Qadir Sir, and you can hang back in the shadows like the cool, mysterious badass that you are, learning a lot from Sister Moss. I know, I can see that. Wonder where she goes at night. Anyway, I'm going to go talk to him, and you can, I don't know, hang back in the shadows and observe, or you can come hang out and listen to us. Whatever works for you, okay? But don't worry too much about this, man. I mean, he's just Al-Qadir Sir. Maybe you are buying into the bullshit by thinking he's a suspicious and important person.
Oh, okay. I think that's a good point. I think that actually does make Mushfiq think a bit maybe. All right. I think in that case, Mushfiq will just hang back and just listen.
Okay, so your plan is to use your downtime action to finish this clock by observing him.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you come down and you see Al-Qadir looking in high spirits as ever. He has brought with him some papers, and as he sees Bidrohi, he fumbles around in his vest and he pulls out a small packet of raisins. And he says, brother, just the person I wanted to see. Here, have a snack. Make sure you are hydrated, that you're sitting down, and that you are prepared for some challenging questions, little brother. Very challenging.
Sir understands the fundamental basics of nutrition, which is more than I can say for most people in this house. And I take the raisins because, dried fruit was pretty cool. That's hard to find as well.
Yep.
Do you have some water and some tea?
The legitimacy of these raisins is probably questionable because Al-Qadir is not the most discerning fellow, but it's something dried. And he...
Let's not go there.
Yes. What with food in the Shattered Isles, there's a lot of substitution and surrogates and things. But anyway, he sits down and he says, I am under the impression that a little while ago, Saeeda Auntie was having a meeting with a very esteemed lawyer by the name of Hardil Subramanian. Do you think he'd be willing to work with us? He says with a big beaming smile.
No, I don't think so. Sir, this man was not a good person. He was not worthy, and I relieved him of his Muchi shoes as soon as I could. Okay? It's done with. He is maybe he's a good lawyer, but he's not a good human being.
Oh. You don't happen to know any lawyers whose shoes you haven't stolen?
No.
He says as he looks over the papers.
Now that you mention it, sir, every lawyer I've met, I've stolen their shoes.
A pity. You see, it's about our mutual friend Tumdurji. He's in a small spot of trouble, and I...
What do you mean? Tumdurji in trouble? I slammed the table.
Yeah. Yes. Well, he may have been possibly handling some shadow silk without a license, or at least he stands accused of it, I am sure. That it is all falsehood, all slander. Only House Anrakis may trade in, or their trusted colleagues and associates, it says here somewhere, may trade in, possess, and he shows you a list that goes trade in, possess, hold, carry, just lists a bunch of verbs of what no one else but them is allowed to do with shadow silk. Anyway, I'm sure there's no evidence of him having done any work with it. He does not have a license for it. But anyway, the house has seized his workshop. I'm trying to get him out of this situation, but at the moment, the poor man has no income. I'm afraid he's unable to work. And so I'm also going around gathering some donations, he says, and he takes up a little tin that he has for collecting money for community projects.
But what is this nonsense, sir? I mean, and I think, I'm so upset that I'm just going to say, Sherakatam was in here asking about you and Shadow Silk just 5 minutes ago, and he's over there now. You can see Sherakatam. He's poking his head around the table and trying to look and say, hello, Sherakatam. He's right here. Come and talk to him. Sherakatam was talking about the Shadow Silk 5 minutes ago, and now you're talking about the Shadow Silk and Tumdurji. And how can Tumdurji be accused of trying to traffic in Shadow Silk? He has spoken about how it is gauche and overrated as a fabric. And if that is not cast iron proof that this man would never be seen caught dead handling shadow silk, I do not know what is. Sir, what is going on? Sherakatam, come.
What is going on is, and I think, Sherakatam, do you want to spend your downtime action figuring him out here? Because
why not? Seems like as good an opportunity as any. So I was in the wardrobe, was I?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just gonna fall out of
the lion from the wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fall out in a landslide of clothes and go. Yes.
Yeah. He looks over and he says, "Oh, my word!" And he looks startled. And I think you don't actually have to do an action here because you only have one tick left. So if you spend your downtime action, you will finish this project. And I think the way I'm going to spin it is. You will figure out Al-Qadar because the stress will actually get to him in this moment. I think that's the interesting way to interpret this project.
Also, before you do that, I think I'm already at the same time as I'm basically giving the whole game away, saying that Sherakatam is suspicious of you and so on. I am also looking through the papers and rifling through them, and I think we said that the houses issued this order, right?
Yeah.
But the houses don't do it all as a joint. It's usually one house that does it.
It's House Anrakis.
The hyena looking at me and laughing.
Yeah. Yep. It's Anish Anrakis. And Clem happens to have a token to go have a chat with them, it turns out. So you could go do that.
Anish Anrakis.
Mm-hmm.
This is a thing. Was Salty here for Anish Anrakis? Well, Salty was here for Anish Anrakis. Yes. Okay.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were.
Were you Salty?
Yes.
Just having a good time. If I was, I was.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you rifle through the papers. Mushfiq falls out of the closet, and Al-Qadar gets a distant look in his eyes. And I think what happens here is with this figure out project, his bullshit will actually, for once, for the first time you've seen him fail him. And his smile drops, and he goes, Oh, this lawyer was, I'm afraid, sort of my last plan. I am at my wit's end, brothers. Tumdurji is a good friend and a dear member of the community, but I have only a few copper coins in my tin, and I haven't been able to get him legal representation. I am sorry. I'm sorry. I could not fix this.
And I think I can tell that he's for real, right? Because he's not trying to bullshit. He's not doing the usual bullshit.
No, he really is. Like, I mean, Tumdurji is probably one of his close friends too, right? And also, he is a pillar of the community and all.
Yeah.
And he looks like crestfallen.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to give Sherekatam a reproachful look as I kind of like get up and I give Alkadir a hug. How dare you accuse this man?
Yeah, he hugs you back and he says, like, listen, I wish there was more I could do. I'm sorry to have bothered you about this lawyer thing.
Don't worry. Sherekatam, you also come in here. It is a difficult time for everyone. We're losing people left and right. Saeeda auntie is sick. Tumdurji is currently having to... We have to... Look, even the hat that we are collecting the coin in is not a stylish hat that he would appreciate. Okay?
Yeah. Yep.
But I have a plan, brothers. I have a plan. May I tell you this plan? And I look at Sherekatam as though he gives a shit about Tumdurji. And that he's emotionally invested in what happens with Tumdurji.
Absolutely.
Tumdurji, I mean, he is a man who should be practicing on the highest of streets and all that. So, of course, we need to get him back his formal business license and all of these things. But it is absolute crime that this man needs to be begging for scraps when he should be working and doing his very best to make people look fly as fucking hell. Okay? That is his calling in life. That's what he said. I'm quoting him directly, which I'm not. So here is my proposal. We have Rising Moon Sword School. Lots of badass brothers, sisters, and other siblings. And people are coming at us and hassling us. What we need is to look sick as shit. What we need is an in-house tailor.
All right. Look, Mushfiq might be on the road to recovery, but I think this is. I think I might have to untick.
It's done. I will go speak to him immediately.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So, Bidrohi.
Well, it does. It doesn't not make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it will cost you a bunch of coin and stuff if you're really planning on doing this, but.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Bidrohi is heading out speaking to him, but I think this gives an interesting moment for Alkadir to actually be like frank with Mushfiq as this happens, right? Because he has now heard that Sherekatam is suspicious of him, and so as Bidrohi leaves, he like collects his papers, and he's like quiet at the moment as he thinks over like, okay, I couldn't make this work. Bidrohi has some harebrained plan, maybe that will work, and he looks up at Mushfiq and he says, you know, the feeling was initially mutual, so I don't blame you for being suspicious. Back home I was not on the best terms with the freedom fighters, as it were, but water under the bridge. Here close the doors to the house of endings. Those who dwell within are Zoheb, called Klow, Aadiyat, called Soap, Soumithri, called Tree, Salty, and Emma. I have been Prince, your host. Our city of Uduasha is based on Blades in the Dark by John Harper and Evil Hat Productions, with special thanks to Johnstone Metzger. Follow us on Twitter or support us on kofi.com/desperateattune. If you want to engage further with us, we also have a Patreon at patreon.com/desperateattune, where you will get our newsletter, extra content, and updates from Uduasha. Next time on Desperate Attune.
A future for our people should have been decided by our people, not by our people held at gunpoint.
Yes, but we were held at gunpoint.
And only some of us tried to turn those guns back.